Hey icons, welcome to living life as my iconic self, because you're an icon, I'm an icon, we live our lives as our best selves. So in this video today, I actually wanted us to talk about our financial goals in our 20s. And in this video, I'm not talking to people that have generational wealth, all of those things, because honey, you have your dad, you have your mom to look after your money. But here I'm talking to people who are just like me, average day people who are just like me. My whole channel actually is based on average day people who are just like me. So if you feel like you have suggestions of things that you want us to talk about, hop onto my DMs on my social media. I'm gonna link down my social media down below, or you can even comment so that even other people can see and they vote. If they like more of your comment, then we can talk about it. But now I want us to talk about finances. I wrote everything down. I always write things down. I want us to talk about finances in our 20s because we don't really have much money, but we have to plan our finances still. We don't have money, but we just need to plan our finances still. And this is coming from someone who I failed EMS when I was in grade 9, and after that I hated EMS with my whole entire life, and I never looked back. I was just like, I'm done with EMS, and we didn't even have a teacher for EMS. Actually started protesting for education since grade 9, now that I think about it. So so I had to teach myself finances. And I also worked with a financial advisor for the past 2.5 years. But one thing I've always realized from all of this thing is no one can actually set up your own financial budget more than you. Which is why I created this video, because I want us to talk about our finances while we're in our 20s. I want us to talk about money while we don't have money, so that we can have money. So let's jump into the video. If you think this is valuable information, the first thing that I want you to actually write down your goals, but don't make them smart. A normal financial advisor would kill me right now. Why would you say people must not make their goals smart? No, having smart goals is what pressurizes you and makes you feel like you're not achieving anything in your life right now. And I'm trying to remove that stigma, because that's going to happen after you've written everything down. You automatically write it down yourself, trust me. So the first thing that I want you to do is write down your goals. Your goals might be, I want to own a car, I want to remove my kid from a public school to a private school, I want to own a property, I want to rent it out, a certain property, I want to, you know, all of those things. I want to have a new job, I want to have a certain career, I want to earn a certain amount of money. So write down those things as vague as possible. Don't think about it, don't overthink it, end it there. Vague as possible, write it down. Then the second thing is, I want you to write down your sources of income, right? And please be honest. For example, with me, I have my career, I have my environmental science career. So one, my career is my source of income. My boutique agency, Emerald House, is also my source of income. You write it down. If you're selling ice to kids, you're selling ice, you're selling clothes, all of those things that you're selling, those are your sources of income. Be as honest as possible, so that if you have one source of income, you understand and you are very clear the dangers that you're currently in. That, listen, I have one source of income, I have two sources of income, damn, I need to add more. And also understanding the fact that there are other sources of incomes that are stage appropriate sources of income. So if you are staying in the rural areas or you're staying in the suburbs, you'll see that, okay, I'm staying here, how can I make money here? But as much as I can make money, it's not something that you're going to put out your heart and soul for the next coming 5 years. You know, it's for a certain thing. So it's very important for you to write down your sources of income. And then the second thing from that is that you have to calculate your costs. Your costs or your expenses. You need to write down, what are you paying for? I'm paying for rent, I'm paying for phone insurance, I'm paying for car insurance, I'm paying for clothes, I'm paying for airtime, I'm paying for child fees, all of those things. I'm paying a medical aid, all of those things that are actually your expenses. You write them down, you fill them down to the T. You write the name of the expense and you write the amount of the expense that is currently happening. And then from there, you are able to say, okay, you know what, I have more expenses than I have more sources of income, meaning I have to increase my sources of income or I increase my expenses. When you look at your expenses, I don't want to really increase my expenses because they are my necessities. You can't say you have an expensive phone and not have insurance for it. That does not make sense. So you can't really lower your expenses, but instead you have to increase your sources of income. So that's why it has to be clear to you that I have to increase my sources of income. And it also has to be clear to you, as vague as possible, that you have these goals that you want to achieve for yourself. You want to move your kid from a private school to, from a public school to a private school. So you have to increase your sources of income. You don't have a choice. Write them down to the T, to the point that you even write the amount of airtime that you use in a month. My financial advisor once asked me that question. I was just like, how am I supposed to know? I'm using Wi-Fi, so the only time I use data is here and there. And he was like, no, just give me a ball figure. So write a ball figure. And then the last thing is, I want you to build your financial buckets, right? You're in your 20s, you don't have money. You are not a rich kid. You are not a trust fund kid. I want you to build your financial buckets. And the main thing that you need to focus on are two things: lowering your expenses or keeping them at a minimum, increases your sources of income, and at the same time understanding your financial buckets. What are your financial buckets? Your financial buckets are the things that bring in money or take out money from you, right? So your financial buckets can be your investment. I'm investing in a certain what I'm using easy equities. I have a career that is paying me this amount of money. I have my costs. Remember, you have a whole table of all your costs. Now take that total and put it on your financial bucket and say your costs amount to 15k, they amount to 15k, because now you won't have to say rent, car, no, the whole amount are your costs. No, those are your financial buckets, so that if you want to add another financial bucket, let's say you want to own a certain property, that can also be a financial bucket on its own. So that's why it's at the end, so that you understand that the only way I can get to that vague vision is building my financial buckets. And again, guys, everything that I've talked about here in this video literally is on, download it down below, and it's free of charge. It's what I use. Remove what I have there, which are my financial buckets, which are my expenses, which are my costs. Remove all of those things and put yours, so that it's easier for you to understand that, okay, perhaps I'm stuck here, perhaps I'm not stuck here. Because one of the things that I've learned working with a financial advisor, is the fact that no one can actually write down or create a financial goals or financial packet for you besides you. And I think for me, these are the necessities, and do it. Start now while you don't have money. So that the nice thing about financial buckets is the fact that you don't have to have these things at the moment. The nice thing about goals, vague goals, is the fact that you know where you're going, but you're not sure how to get there. And because you're not sure how to get there, what you will be doing meanwhile is lowering your expenses or keeping them minimal while you're increasing your source of incomes. Because you understand, your financial bucket says, I want to own property. Your goals say, I want to own that property. You see? So from there, because after that, you will see if you are really committed to this thing. You will see and say, you know what, I think right now I'm at a stage where I can actually tick off having a property, because I've increased my financial buckets to this level, and I have this amount of sources of income, and now I'm increasing my sources of income to the point that I have a side hustle where I sell clothes, and these clothes are literally just paying for my toiletries, and I have this other side business that I'm doing that is literally just paying for my rent, and my main career and my side business are not paying for all these other things. Now I can use those things to actually fund my property. It's as vague as that, but it's very useful. I use it, you use it, everyone should use it, guys. I think everyone should use it. And if you know anyone that also needs to use it, please share this video with them, and please watch this video and watch more of my videos that are about to come, that are all about building your life in order for you to become your most iconic self while you don't have anything. I mean, I'm in my 20s, you're also in your 20s. If you're watching this, you're inspired by it. I'm also inspired by you, honey. So, you know. And thank you guys. See you in my next video. Bye.